You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Gamma World on the internet for your amusement. This is part 5, Robotic Neutral.
Baba Bob slices the machine in half with a laser whip. It sputters, the prisoners in the cage get a few last jolts, and then the humming dies, and the machine seems to have ceased its existence.
Yay!
It seems like it would now be safe to move into this chamber.
You are now
free to move about the cabin.
Our encounter done. Can I go see if my yield sign is worth retrieving?
Sure, it is.
Yeah, I am going to look for the knife, and I also want to make a science check just to see what I can learn about this machine, see if any information will come in handy.
So, you will get some experience points. You'll explore the room.
Oh yeah, and I can tell you what I rolled on my thing about the machine. Let's see, math. This requires math. 14, 24, 25. Okay, so it's 26.
Well,
on my science check.
So E84, you study this strange piece of ancient technology, and it's, especially what's left of it after it's been had junk thrown at it and been slashed in half by some laser whips, and it seems like this was related to transferring psychic energies, and that you think that the batters may have been using it to wipe the minds of unfortunate people from the wastelands that they may have captured, that they could then use them for whatever nefarious purposes. A badger would want to wipe the mind of a captive, and was also doing some kind of dangerous psychic energy things to other creatures around it, though it seemed to be healing the badgers. It seemed, I think, even for your advanced science skills, it would be extremely hard to return this machine to working order without a lot of parts and time. So.
I was just interested to see if there was anything that I could glean from it that I might be able to use later with regards to psychic.
And you
stuff.
suspect that, the Badgers probably found this piece of equipment and leveraged it for their nefarious purposes. It's not of a Badger origin. They're not known for creating any machines of anywhere near this complexity.
Gotcha. So what do we roll again to see if our Omega Tech survived the fight?
Let's go check. I think it's basically a D20, unless you have some special power that makes it not a D20, or makes it a modifier, because I think it's basically like doing a saving throw.
And I'm back up to full HP now, right?
Yep, you're at full HP, so go ahead.
Hurrah. That's right.
Top yourself
And this is only
off.
for things that we have used this encounter?
Yes. If you, it has a thing where basically if you had physical cards, which, I've got a deck of them here, you're supposed to, tap them.
Wait, are you allowed to call it tapping if it's not Magic the Gathering?
It's the same, it's Wizards of the Coast, so.
Fair enough.
So that's how they get you.
So I would roll for my laser whip, basically, since I used that.
Yeah.
So it's 10 and above it survives, is that?
I'm trying to find that. I feel like we said that last time, but I'm not actually seeing that.
We did, I just don't remember.
So, after you use an Omega Tech item, you might deplete its charge. At the end of an encounter, roll a d20 to make an Omega Charge check. A result of 10 or higher is a success, and the item retains its charge. Untap it, and it stays readied.
That is an 11.
This is important, because I think we didn't do this quite right, especially with the laser whip. Each Omega card works once per encounter.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Oops.
I mean, you used
were dual wielding.
You used it on an inanimate object. You could have done other things to zap it. So that just
eventually we
sped us
could have
along.
thrown enough yield signs and such. We had a couple of stop signs with baseball bats we could have tossed.
I have a Louisville Slugger.
I've got my toy dump truck.
So
I have 8 gigs of RAM.
I would never throw that. Let's be real.
So
Is that little creepy teddy bear thing still in?
It is. I haven't done anything with it yet because I haven't had to restrain anybody. But yeah, it's still still with me, still
curious.
cuddly. I as played this session by my childhood bear and not Allison's childhood bear.
Aww.
So tell me about the technology that people brought in. Did it die, or is it gonna?
My ring died.
I'm good.
I get to keep mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get to keep my laser whip or laser pistol.
Yep, and my exoskeleton is still in good shape.
All right. Well, yep. Bye-bye, cognition anchor.
Can I
right.
come check on these poor little red shirts down here and see?
Yep. So these
Is there anything?
there's a variety of humanoids locked in this cage by the Badgers, and they don't even really seem aware of your presence. They seem to have basically had their entire minds wiped and not respond to any kind of. Perhaps they can only be controlled by specific commands or whatnot, but they seem unaware that you're there.
Okay.
Simon says, stand up.
One of them
I
stands
suggest
up. Perhaps his name is Simon. That's not how that works,
I
is
was
it?
about to suggest that we put these creatures out of what will certainly become their misery, but perhaps they can be useful.
Hey, gosh.
Are you aware of the 3 rules of robotics?
Robotin. Well, let's see here. I've got an 8 on interaction, so maybe those with wiped minds can be...
And you do have some empathic abilities, right? So,
I'm a mind coercer.
yeah, that seems like...
Could I bring them into the group telepathy and see if there's anything buzzing around in their brains?
Sure. Do you want
All right.
to roll something for that?
Yes, I will roll. Well, let's see. To do the group telepathy dealy bob, I guess I'll roll a d20 and you
All right.
can decide if it's successful.
I'd like to see, like, above a 15.
All right. We're not going to get that this time, friends.
Did you add your modifier to it?
For which thing?
When-
Interaction?
Yeah, why don't you add interaction?
We almost got it. We got a 14 there at the end.
You know, you're having a real hard time kind of finding any mental presence there. It's as if, you know, you in your travels, Bob, you feel like you've had more exciting conversations with horses than with these creatures.
In fact, let me tell you about the time I... No.
A horse is a horse, of course.
All right. Is there anything? Do I think I can roll anything to help them or figure out?
Why don't you roll interaction or something like that?
All right. 11 for interaction.
They seem pretty out of it. I mean, I think if you spent a bunch of time with them, you might be able to get them to follow some very basic commands, but they're kind of helpless on their own.
Let me give it a shot. Maybe a cat will
Use
whip him into shape.
Use your vampiric charm.
That's a 21 on interaction.
What do you want them to do?
I want to learn more about them.
Talk to me, damn it!
Whiting's the name. Conversation's the game.
They don't have any names. They don't know who they are or where they've been. All they know is this cage.
So, you come around here often?
They don't know where here is.
Perhaps
All
we
right.
should leave these creatures until we are done with whatever is to come downstairs
I agree
I
with
would-
E84.
or
I would
elsewhere.
first like to roll for, well, let's see. What would you consider the sort of investigation check? Oh, perception. I just want to look into the cage and get a really good, really good look around, see if they've got anything on their person that would help us. All right. That's a 20, 19 plus 1.
They do indeed. They doesn't look like they have anything on them, but it looks like there is a pile in the corner of things that might be previous belongings of them before they were put in this cage. So, one of them.
Which include...
Do you want to sift through this pile of junk?
I do indeed.
All right.
Or we do.
All right, we'll do it in the world. There's going to be some Omega technology and some ancient junk. Let's do Omega technology first this time, since I made you do ancient junk first last time. All right, let me find my pile of Omega technology, because it looks like some of this stuff maybe even the batters have been tinkering with and getting into working order, or perhaps cobbling together from more than one source. Let's see. So, Whiting, you find. Make sure I'm not sending. I think this is not something I've already sent someone. You find that. And Atifa, you find that. And E84, you find that. And of course, Bob, you find this.
Can anybody hear the 20th Century Fox Overture right now?
Nope.
Then I've done a great job setting up this podcast setup because it's really loud in the other room.
So everybody finds, some kind of bric-a-brac that these adventurers may have had on them before they were attacked by batters and caged in this strange room. You also all find some random junk if you want to roll from the random junk table. That's 2d10 or...
Boy, howdy do I.
Uh-huh.
I got a 19.
All right, with a 19, you find a coloring book.
Ooh. I got a 22.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's see, Ativa, you find a camera flash cube. Whiting?
Ooh, wow.
13.
13, a punching bag. E84, you found a coloring book.
Really?
Yeah, crayons not included.
Oh, that's all right. There are lots of things I can use to create color. There's blood everywhere. There's charcoal from burned things.
And Bob, do you want to look for some ancient junk?
I rolled a 57.
57. You found a miniature foosball table.
What? We're done. We're going back to town.
How many is mini?
A miniature, sorry, a miniature.
Yeah, how miniature is your, like...
It's a tabletop foosball table that you would put on top of another table if you had one of those.
We do.
We do.
We actually.
The magical table.
All right. E84, do you want to take the table or should we leave it?
I mean, now we've got a
Where are we
mini-table.
going? See, that's the thing. Let's look at the map. I think we should bring this table
If there's a place you need to go.
until we reach a point where the passageway is too narrow.
So it does look like, looking to the east of this kind of... it looks like you were in a basement that looked like it may have been originally part of this tower. You know, the floor is kind of poured concrete. But there are several passageways kind of cut into the earth to the east of this, on the side of this chamber, that it looks like the Badgers, or perhaps the slaves that they kept, used to hollow out and build a kind of immense set of tunnels, a warren off of this basement. So the passageways there are going to be much more irregular in size and probably uneven. So up to you whether you want to try and navigate those with a table.
Okay, hear me out.
I think
Let's
we should
sled
take it
on it
as
with
long
the
as-
table.
Can we just bring it along until it no longer fits in our, it doesn't work anymore for us?
Sure.
I'm not going to stop you.
I think this is a good idea. And then, if necessary, and we need to beat a hasty retreat, we can wedge the table as we into the stone as we go by.
Okay.
It's invincible.
Okay. All right.
Let's do
All
it.
right.
Where are we going? To the east?
It's an excellent question for you.
Yes.
East.
Yep.
Let's see. So you got some junk, you got some Omega Tech, you're healed up. You've all kept careful track of which Omega Tech is currently active, which you have currently, and which you don't, because some of you may have many items at this point, right?
Oh, should we share
A few.
our Omega Tech, the most recent Omega Tech?
Yeah, might as well.
Sure.
I got the Ishtar Eternalite. It is a fist-sized crystal globe that glows like a star. The Eternalite continually produces bright light in a 10-square radius. It actually is an attack thingy, so it has a close burst of 5. Each enemy in the burst will be hit, and it is... whoever I hit with it is blinded. So I could blind a bunch of enemies at once with this attack.
Wow.
Ishtar Eternalite.
I found the Optic Neurojack, which is kind of cool. You plug it into the back of your neck, which for me feels perfect. And until the end of the encounter, you can make anytime you make a perception check, you can roll 2 d20s and use the total result. But if you roll a 1 on either of them, the effect ends and you're blinded. Save ends.
Wow.
I have the same thing, an Endeavor Neurojack, where I find a little plug that I get to plug into my the back of my head. And same deal, 2d20 for any athletics check during the encounter.
Ooh.
And I got the Omega Spy Comp, which gives a +2 power bonus to conspiracy checks until the end of the encounter. In addition, roll a d20. You can add the result to 1 conspiracy check you make before the end of the encounter. When might I make a conspiracy check? What does a conspiracy check do?
Yeah, not sure. I don't know if that's come up yet.
I don't think it has.
Let me...
Is Gamma World flat?
you know what? I'm going to stop and look this up because I'm not sure, since this is a Gamma World power, right?
Gamma World is not flat. In fact, it has lizard people living inside it.
Yeah.
Lizard people. Do they eat avocado toast?
Wake up, people. Flipping through the book. It's good times. All right. Descriptions. Conspiracy is an intelligence-based ability. Okay, this is actually not at all what I would have guessed it was. You make a conspiracy check to remember useful information about a significant person, organization, or event. Making a conspiracy check usually doesn't require an action. Either you know the information or you don't. So it's kind of like, I think it's the Gamma...
history.
Yeah, it's the Gamma World equivalent of history.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, good to know. So you have,
although I think we already determined that we don't know anything about the dude who has taken residence here and called himself king or whatever.
I believe that none of you were familiar with the Iron King. The batters seem to think he was a big deal.
Big fluffy deal.
It's like how I feel when I talk to other people about the podcast I listen to.
So, there's 2 holes cut into the side of this room to the east. They look like they go into a connected tunnel, but that tunnel branches off in many directions. You might head north. You might head east. You might head south.
Well, with the table, I say we don't go south right away.
Yeah, that's very narrow.
South does look like the narrowest.
I kind of like east.
Let's go east.
Well,
right.
as long as everyone's on board.
Sure.
All right. Well, it's good that you just found that glowing Ishtar crystal, because the tunnels are quite dark and damp and smell like old badgers.
I'm not breathing.
You're never breathing.
Sometimes I pretend to.
Okay.
It seems to make people more comfortable.
And
May it be a light to us in dark places when all other lights go out.
Hail Ishtar Flammer, whatever the heck it's called.
So the tunnels twist and turn for quite a ways until eventually you pop out in a kind of larger room, and it looks like there's some kind of... The room is actually somewhat illuminated by some glowing blue moss on the floor of the chamber. There's kind of a tunnel entryway with some blue moss, and you can see a much larger chamber beyond, faintly lit.
I would like to investigate the moss with... Would that be like a science or a perception?
I would say science.
I just want to know if I can use it to make some colors for my coloring book.
Okay.
Because it's glowing. How cool would that be? Let's see. 29.
Wow. Yeah, you're always good at science. So this moss is faintly radioactive. You could definitely probably repurpose it into a dye. I'm also going to tell you, because that was such an amazing roll, you know that if you're standing on the moss, the kind of background radiation from that would give you a bonus if you were overcharging an alpha power, though you might experience an alpha flux if you rolled not just a 1, but a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4, or a 5.
Whoa.
Well, if anybody doesn't like their current alpha powers,
so that could be real exciting. I'm also going to tell you, as you're studying the moss, you feel like you hear a faint fluttering in the larger chamber beyond.
Oh, do we get different
Moths.
alpha powers?
You will very soon.
Okay.
I point out all of this information to my companions.
Okay.
Cool.
And I also scrape some up into, I don't know, into my explorer's kit or something, too.
I scrape some up and turn it into a, was it boutonniere? Whatever goes on your lapel.
If you look, I've placed you in some tunnels slightly below where you were on the other map.
Nice. Okay. Yep, totally collecting some of that. All right, so...
Okay.
So we can only see as far as... what's cleared around us?
There's some rocks in the way. You could certainly look into. Sorry, let me reveal a little bit more. It looks like the larger chamber is through there.
Okay.
How's that?
So the larger chamber is to the west or to the east?
west.
Okay.
Follow the moss.
All right. I'm going to walk in between the moss for the time being.
Okay.
Oh, but I see. Okay, so it's...
Sorry.
We'll stand here. And as soon as you stand there, something comes out and
You feel
bites
you feel tingly on that moss.
We all
I am
tingle
also
the
walking
same
on the
way.
moss.
All right. It feels a little tingly.
I feel like radiation's probably just good for me since I'm an android.
That's one way to think about radiation.
All right, I'm going to go to right here.
All right. So,
Yeah.
as some of you move into the opening, your eyes adjust, and you can see a rather large cavern beyond.
Oh dear.
And there's kind of just an immense pit in this cavern, and there's a path that kind of spirals down into this pit. And the sound of kind of flapping grows louder as you can see several airborne creatures moving about this chamber. And as the three of you line up in the doorway there, several sets of eyes turn toward you because it seems like they see you as well. There's several types of creatures living in this underground cavern. Some of them are what are known as bloodbirds, or the Red Death. They're flocks of scarlet avian creatures. And the other creatures in here look more insect in nature. Some of you might be familiar with gamma moths, and some of you may know more about these various creatures. Yeah. I'm going to suggest that you roll initiative.
Sorry, can you describe their haircuts, please?
None of these have any haircuts. They seem to be
dear.
Hey, Flappy Bird.
au
How's it going?
natural. Thank you for reminding me about the badger haircuts.
All right. I've added my initiative to the turn order.
Let's see here.
I really like the idea of just like a badger barber shop somewhere in this place, and they like go in, and it's all very. They sit back in the chair, they get the warm towel over their face, the whole deal.
Next door,
Somebody-
there's a Bugbear sandwich shop, I think.
Somebody clips their little claws or sharpens them depending on what they're
Yes.
doing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, with a little
And they can get
Dremel.
like a clear coat on it if they want.
Yeah. They install that at the Badger Factory. Can't do anything about that.
Reference acknowledged.
Thank you. Thank you. In addition to the moss making you feel tingly, it also seems like some of these creatures are more irradiated than your traditional Gamma World being, so that may come into play as well. All right. Have all of you put in your initiatives?
Yes.
All right. Let me sort these. All right. Atifa, you are the first to react.
All right. Well, let's see how we do. All right.
Wait, do we get our gamma?
Oh, yes.
Gamma?
And
yeah.
thank you for keeping me honest / remembering basic things. As the sights of these creatures fills you with adrenaline, your veins also pulse with irradiated blood or oil. Let me find some things here.
I've got both.
And
Are you sure none of you can hear the TV in the next room? It's very loud.
Only
I
because
can't,
you
but-
keep bringing it up. No.
Well, Skype does its own compression, so it's very
Yeah.
possible that your recording is recording
Yeah.
it, and we're
I'm
just
also
hearing it.
I'm looking at the waveforms and seeing nothing. So if it's
you're
quiet
fine
enough
then.
that it's not okay, cool. Hi, Jim. Sorry.
Yeah,
All right,
then
let's
he can noise gate it out, no problem.
Excellent.
I am dropping some alpha mutations in here. I keep being anxious that I might be handing out things you've already seen, but hopefully not. Let's see. And
Can
as
you hear the 10-player band in the next room that's in my house right now?
is Shane playing all 10 parts? So
Yeah. Yes.
I think he's doing well then.
How's he doing, Micah?
He looks like when I went out, he looked normal again.
Okay.
Yay.
Like his skin has completely
Yay.
returned. So all the roids and the prescription strength Benadryl they gave him has returned him to normal. So
Good.
Awesome.
I am looking through these quickly. I don't always look at them before I send them to you because they're basically randomly generated off from a card deck. And some of these are interesting. Some of these are somewhat redundant or humorously synergistic, and some of them are unlikely
they
to
are.
be relevant in the scenario of what's about to happen. But that's how things work in the wild world of mutations on Gamma World.
If you don't like them, stand on the blue moss.
Stand on the
You
blue
never know.
moss. So, Atifa, you are the first to go.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. I think I'm gonna wait, but this alpha mutation I think might come in handy. All right. So I am once again going to try the vitality transfer, which is my encounter power. And I rolled a 14 versus fortitude on Bloodbird 2.
Bloodbird 2, the closest target. So, I'm sorry, what was the number? I think you're going to hit.
14 versus fortitude.
All right, the flock of Bloodbirds does not have that great fortitude, and they are hit.
Awesome. So that Bloodbird is weakened until the end of next turn. I don't know if it must be my next turn. You or an ally within 5 squares gets temporary HP, 4 temporary HP, and I'm gonna give that to E84 since they're mostly melee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, I will point out, just to make clear on the map, can you see that there's various elevation changes
Yeah.
in that pit? So many of these creatures are currently kind of flapping
Below.
over a pit or below where you are. So
Okay.
I'll also mention the birds are actually like a flock of birds, I believe.
Oh,
No, sorry, I'm wrong. They're individual
Okay,
birds. Individual birds, individual moths. The moths are quite big. Yes. So
Moths
did
and moss.
that bird take damage or just become
Nope.
weakened? Okay.
Just weakened.
Okay. Did you want to do anything else, Atifa? You can move.
Nope. Actually, let me get. Yeah, I'll get out of the way and I'll remain tingly on some moss inside
All right.
that doorway. I know.
E84.
all right.
Actually, I apologize. Something happens. Atifa, as you step to the edge of the ramp there,
Gosh dang it.
it turns out the ground is kind of soft from all the blue
Of course it
moss.
is.
Can you make an acrobatics check?
Can I? Sure. I
Let's find
can. Ooh, I'll take it. That's 22.
All right, some of the dirt kind of gives way beneath your feet and, spills down the ramp, but you maintain your footing.
I take note of this.
Yeah, E84, you're next. Sorry, that will come up for anyone else in the future. Yep.
I am curious about bloodbirds and these moth things.
Yeah.
Do I know, or can I make a check to know whether or not either or both of them do psychic damage? Is there a roll of some sort, or is that a thing that I would just know from living in Gamma World?
Let's see. I'm going to guess that's probably like a nature or a science. Is there a nature?
There is a nature,
Roll nature.
which sucks compared to my science, but
Well, not everything's going to be science.
that's all right. It makes much more sense. Oh, I rolled a natural 20, so that's 21.
All right.
Awesome.
So we'll say this is bloodbirds. So E84, you know all about bloodbirds. You have spent several cycles of your life being a bird observation robot. These feathered predators are also known as the Red Death for their scarlet plumage. Though they look like they're birds, they're extremely vicious. And more than one admirer has been drawn close by the bloodbird's cheerful song, only to be killed by them. It has a radioactive bite, and they like to rend their prey into bits. They are most dangerous when they are in a flock, though they're just two individual birds. That's not a flock. Does not a flock make? They don't have any kind of ranged attack. You would also know that if they are heavily irradiated, if you were next to a bloodbird, you might take radiation damage at the start of your turn. And biting,
right.
they want to bite you and do radiation damage. Yeah, that's a bloodbird.
Okay. Can I also roll for the mothy things?
Yes.
All right. Oh, so I rolled the natural 20 in the last one. I rolled a 1 on this. So that's 2 on my nature check.
Looks
I
like a
probably have
bug.
No idea. Looks like a bug. All right. Well, in that case, I'm just going to stay where I am, and I'm going to Yeah, I really don't have much in the ranged attack. Well, I guess I'll just shoot once with my assault rifle, because that is a thing that I can do from range.
Which thing are you shooting at?
At the closest blood bird,
Got
the
it.
one that has been weakened. That is a 10. I can't remember what we decided we added.
Let me check.
the
I think you
assault
probably
rifle,
get to add
heavy.
dex. That's probably... I should keep that bookmarked.
I should write it down.
So you would add... the weapon's accuracy is 2. I don't think we did all this last time because I think whoever got it just rolled so high.
I think I rolled really high.
Yeah, and we're like, oh yeah, you hit. So you would add the weapon's accuracy, which is 2. You would add your level, which is 1. And then I think you would add, for a range thing, it looks like you would use either your strength or constitution modifier.
Ugh, that's not good. Okay, so -2. I am a wussy, weak, like noodly limbed android.
That was me last encounter. Come on.
All right, so let's see, 10 plus 1. Okay, so that is simply an 11, probably versus AC, I would guess, to
All
the
right.
flappy bloodbird.
Yeah, your bullets go wide and go nowhere near the bird.
Okay, all right. Then I'm making a note that I have used the assault rifle. I probably won't do it again unless things get dire. And I'm going to stay where I am.
All right. Whiting.
Hi, that's me. I don't actually know how this pistol I got a few rounds ago works. How would that work?
I think we're going to do the same math we just did with Erica on it.
Excellent. Just handgun. Great.
Yep. So a handgun is a... it's a light gun. Yep. So the difference is for this, because it's a light gun, it doesn't do as much damage. So
Okay.
it'll use your dex or intelligence, and I'm guessing
right.
your dex is much better.
Hey, let's see.
Oh man,
yeah.
I want a light gun because I could do much
Yeah,
better at Dex than I am.
Yeah, Dex is a lot better. Dex gives me a +4.
And then you would also add the weapons accuracy, which on a one-handed gun is +4, and your level, which is +1. So
That's +9. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going after the Bloodbird that's already been hit.
Okay.
Closest to us. That is a non-natural 20.
all right, roll damage for a handgun. It's a D8. Actually, a D8 plus your Dex modifier plus your level. So
Dex modifier is, as we just established, a 4.
Yep.
+5. Okay, so that's 12 damage to Bloodbird number 2.
wow. Okay, yeah, you peg the bloodbird right in the wing. It is bloodied already. Okay.
Ooh.
Strong opening.
The bloody Bloodbird.
Seems appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Whiting, do you want to move?
So what was the rule we established with blue moss? It winds up sinking you if you stay there too long.
Turns out being near the spiral ramp leading down this pit in the middle is not very stable. Seems like
So it's
whoever excavated it may not have been up to code.
And the moss itself, if you roll up, I think it was 1 through 5,
Yep.
it changes your alpha mutation. But on the other hand, was it good for overcharge? Was that what it was?
Yep.
all right, great. So it's not the moss that made Atifa fall.
That
earlier.
was flavor, and she didn't fall.
All right.
She was great.
Cool. That is their turn.
All right. Bloodbirds are next. Well, one bloodbird has been shot at by people, and it does not like that. So this bloodbird is going to swoop at Atifa. And bloodbirds can actually occupy the same square as other people.
Crush you, Bloodbird.
That makes sense
That's
if they're above you.
No concept of personal space. It's like you didn't get an education growing up. Where's your grandparents? They didn't teach you any manners. I'm just going to keep razzing about this doggone bloodbird until the DM says something. Stupid red bird.
Says the bloodbird as it swoops at you, Atifa.
Now you think scatological humor is funny? I don't like it.
12 versus AC.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
12 versus AC.
12 versus AC, I think. Yeah, that fails.
All right. So the bloodbird ends its turn flapping adjacent to you.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
No, I don't know what.
I'm trying to decide who does the next bloodbird dislike. Well, Bob, you were lecturing, so
I was lecturing. It's only fair.
How dare you criticize?
the bloodbird flaps in your direction. Again, not a very strong roll. That will be 14 versus AC.
I don't like to tell you that my AC is 14 because tie goes to the runner.
It does. So this bloodbird swoops in at you. You are going to take this. There's different types of damage here, so I'm going to roll this one at a time because I think you. So you would take a 3 physical damage, which I believe basically doesn't scathe you at all.
Yes, that cancels out because of my beautiful armored skin.
So the bird is pecking at you, but it's hard when you're made of rock. And then you will take another 5 radiation damage.
All right, very well.
You are also feeling weird because the wound that the bloodbird caused on you is going to do some ongoing radiation damage. Is there a radiated symbol here? I think there is, if I can just find it.
What if I told you I always feel weird?
You can always take ongoing damage then. The other thing, and I'm not sure how to best represent this. Yeah, I don't know how to. Not like that.
Oh my god.
Oh no, sorry. I keep stacking things on top of them. It's not good. I'm going to put this below you, like on the wall. So that bloodbird, because it successfully attacked you, is like, it's moved into your space and is like swooping around your head. So you are basically, like, there is a bloodbird, like, on you.
Do I know what the ongoing damage is?
It's 5.
-5 each time? Do I have a save on that?
Yep, you have a save on it.
Okay.
Let's see. So the other thing is, as long as that bloodbird is on Bob, it is very hard for other people to hit it.
Well, I don't take back what I said before. You need to learn manners, young thing.
Young bird. All right.
Young bird.
So the bloodbirds have gone, and it looks like next up in the order is the Blosh, also known as a gamma moth. These creatures are giant irradiated moths, and they're kind of buzzing about the chamber. But it turns out they don't actually want to get really close to you. They're gonna beam some radiation in your general direction. And why don't they'll aim for E84 and Whiting. So,
Yay.
E84, this is +8 versus Fortitude. That's 15 versus Fortitude.
That hits.
And Whiting, you get, did I roll that again? What am I doing?
Yeah, you rolled a d20.
Okay, 17 versus Fortitude.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. So you will take... Oh, this is not good. There's some splash damage on this. You will each take 9 radiation damage. And you're weakened because you are all now heavily irradiated. And each creature adjacent to you is going to take some damage. So I think, Atifa and Bob, you're going to take 5 more damage from of splash from what E84 and Whiting just got hit by.
Sorry.
Okay.
I suggest we leave this place now.
I agree.
Bob, you are next. You are irradiated a little bit, so you're going to take 5 radiation damage at the start of your turn. How are you doing?
Well, fine. I have 10 health left. So after Bob gets the damage, that's when the save happens?
You would save at the end of your turn.
Okay, gotcha.
And you can save both against the radiation streaming through you and the bird that's attached to you.
Very well.
If you move, the bird just moves with you.
All right, here's what we're going to do. Ooh, all right. I am going to cast Mental Push. And that is 10 plus 4, 14, versus the bloodbird above me's will.
All right. Unfortunately, I think... Let's see. Yeah, that unfortunately it will not hit. The bloodbird, when it's on you, is very hard to hit. So the bloodbird is flapping around your head, pecking at you, and you're having a hard time connecting with it psychically.
All right. Woe is me, I sing to thee. That was a free action. Let's see. Do I have any minor actions? Standard. All right, well, I guess I will just grin and let this bird keep on doing what it's doing.
All right.
I don't have anything left to do.
I believe I can help remove the bird.
Bob,
my
I
turn.
would suggest that you first do a saving throw against the radiation coursing through your veins.
I would like that very much. That's going to be an 18.
All right, so you overcome that. I would also do a saving throw against having a bird attached to you.
All right. Do I add anything to this,
Nope.
or is it just
a saving throw.
That's going to be a 17.
All right, we're going to put that
Sweet.
bird.
Okay.
That bird is now the bird is in your vicinity, but not attached to you.
Very well.
All right, Atifa, you don't have a bird attached to you. How's that working out?
I like it. I like not having a bird attached to me. I am going to use one of my Omega Tech items.
I would not hold back
specifically-
because these guys are rough.
the unstable vibroblade, and okay, I gotta figure out how to do this. I'm not used to melee in this particular game. Okay, so it's my level plus 6, so 7. All right, so I'm rolling my d20. That's 24 versus fortitude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about twice what you needed. Yeah.
Okay. Hang on, I need to get 3d6. 1 second.
It's always nice when it's like, I need like a lot more dice than I've got in front of me right now.
Yeah, right.
This is awesome.
I gotta dig. All right. So 3d6 plus my dexterity modifier, which is 3, plus twice my level 5. Okay. So, I mean, it's 10 force damage and ongoing 5 physical damage, which can end on a save.
All right. So, so that bird is pretty badly hurt at this point.
Good.
Yep.
You're welcome.
There's all kinds of feathers flying all around the chamber. They're crimson. Do you want to do anything else? You don't have a lot of space to move without provoking. Also, every time you move along the edge of the cliff, there's the chance that you might fall.
Yeah,
I still say we should leave.
I was going to shift to be closer to Bob, in case he goes down, but I think I'm just going to wait because I don't want to be adjacent to 2 birds.
That's no way to go through life.
No. So I'm done.
All right. E84.
Okay. I am going to move south one toward Bob. Much as I would love to attack the bloody bloodbird, that would require making a check and possibly falling into a hole. So I'm not going that way. Instead, I am going to use my prototype power fist on the bloodbird that is next to Bob. And see how that goes. That is 20.
The one thing I might suggest is, well, I guess you want to do this no matter what. You know that the moth attacks do have that thing where it splashes to other people, so...
That's true.
But
I
anyway,
think at this point we're all kind of...
You're punching a bird. You're committed.
Yep. So that's a 24 versus AC.
Yep. You run up to the bird that's just been... that Bob has just thrown off his shoulder and punch it in the air.
Actually, I punch it out of the air because even on a miss, I will be knocking it prone.
Oh, no.
Yes!
This is not good for a bird. Birds don't like to be prone.
Yep. So let's see. That's 16 plus strength. That's -2. So 14. Okay, so 16 physical damage, and I knock the target prone.
All right. Oh, you know what? Atifa, because you started your turn next to a bird, you took some radiation damage.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, you took 3 radiation damage.
Okay.
Okay. That bird is bloodied. In fact, that bird does not look like it's doing great.
So where does it just land on the ground right next to Bob? Okay.
Indeed.
So I've moved and I've done that, and I don't think there's really anything else.
Oh, though, actually, did you remember that you were weakened because you got zapped by a...
Oh, I didn't. So how much does that take away from...
It's half damage. How much did you just do?
I did 16, so only 8.
Okay. That bird's not bloodied.
Okay. But it is still prone.
It is still prone.
Which means it's easier to hit for the next person who makes a melee attack against it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you want to do anything else?
Do I want to? Yes. Am I able to?
No.
Sadly, no.
You should save against being weakened.
Yes, I would like to do that. But I did not.
Okay.
In fact, I rolled a 5. Does that mean that my alpha whatchamadoozy changes?
Yeah, it does.
Good.
Okay.
I've been hoping for this.
Wait, are these like bad alpha whatchamadoozies?
No, they're from the same deck, so you know.
Okay, good.
They're just as good or bad.
Clown
Yeah.
shoe.
See, my current one, it only helps if it's actually kind of the same as that ring that disappeared. If I take psychic damage, I can bounce it back.
My little product is the same as what my power is. Like they both just blind things. I can actually become light and blind stuff, but it's like, oh, they both blind. That's kind of boring. Anyway.
E84, something in your circuitries pulses, and you feel different.
All right, let's see. This I'm just seeing if this is something that I can.
It's going to be a
No,
standard
I
action.
wouldn't be able to do it. It'd be my next turn. So all right. I will read about this as somebody else goes.
All right. Whiting, things are not looking good for your friends. I don't know how good they're looking for you either.
Not as good as I'd like them to be.
Do you have something that kills all birds in a room? That would be great now for power up right now.
Well, look at this card here. Kill
As a
all
bird.
birds.
You are
as a cat.
You are a cat, yeah. So
All right.
focus.
What kind of action is it to roll to change your mutation while on the moss?
You don't.
You can't actually do that. So when you try to do something else, your mutation might change if you roll a 5 or lower.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. All right. So
Yeah, so basically you need to fail at something else
Yes.
for that to happen.
what was the bird you just rolled at E84, and what happened at the end of that made you say combat advantage?
It's the one on the. It's next to Bob 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 to the left
All
of
right.
Bob Bob Bob, and it's on the ground. So if you make a melee attack at it, you get combat advantage. If you make a ranged attack, it's actually harder to hit at this point.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, I was going to say, you know what? I'll go for a ranged attack at the Bloodbird next to a Tifa. Also, do I take any damage for being radiated at the beginning of this turn?
You know what? I used the same symbol, and I shouldn't have, because I think you're weakened, but you're not taking radioactive damage. Yeah.
Oh, good. That makes me very
Yeah.
happy.
There's two different sources of radiation here. The Bloodbirds hurt you with ongoing radiation damage. The moths weaken you. So,
All right,
yeah.
I'm going to get rid of the symbol then since I saved.
Yes.
All right, awesome. And so I'm going to
come
shoot
up
the
with a better
Bloodbird next to a Tifa with a pistol. What did we determine? It was like a +9 or something? Something
It
ridiculous
was
like
something pretty ridiculous, yes.
that? Let's see what this is.
I think it was 9.
Now,
So
have
that's
you...
going to be a 21.
and you've already fired
hit.
that pistol once this fight, right?
Yes, that wasn't the... that's not my Omega tech. That's just a pistol that I had.
So
yeah,
the,
if
the
you fire it
important-
more than once, it's gone.
Oh, okay.
But on the
you know
other
what?
hand,
I'm okay with that.
if you've committed to firing it more than once, just keep firing it.
Yeah, just go.
I'm
go.
okay with that. Yeah,
You're just a
I will
vampire
throw it
cat
away.
with nothing left to lose and a handgun. So,
I would write that screenplay. So it was a 21 to hit.
which one were you targeting?
The Bloodbird next to a Tifa.
All right, you rolled a 21 to hit. That will definitely
Yeah.
hit. Roll damage.
And there was a D8 +9. Or no, +8.
Yeah.
+5? What was it again?
Roll a d8. I think you'll be okay.
That is a 5 on the D8.
All right, you pluck that Bloodbird out of the air with another well-placed pistol shot, and it tumbles to the ground and slides down into the pit.
All right. I'm also a wimp and going to move back 1.
Okay.
2. You know what? 3.
You are now behind several rocks. You cannot even see your friends.
I'll be back in a second, guys. Just hanging out back here.
Don't call us his. Don't call us their
Was his
friend.
friend? Yeah.
Do you have like some text messages to send back there or something? All right. So there's one Bloodbird left. It's on the floor. It flops up into the air. And you know what? E84, this Bloodbird doesn't like robots anymore. It was kind of neutral.
did at
Robots
one point.
don't like it.
It was neutral. Now it is aggressive against robots. So,
Robotic neutral.
yeah. 15 versus AC.
That does not hit.
All right. It flaps at you and it's trying to scratch you with its beak, but it is not connecting. Whiting, you should save against being weakened.
Oh, yes. So sorry. Is a 9... Do I
Nope.
get any modifiers on that?
And not unless you've got something special that gives you a modifier on saving throws.
Yeah, I got nothing. All right. I'm still weakened.
All right. Okay. So that was the Bloodbird's turn because there's only one of them. The Gamma Moths are next. And they're going to take advantage of your clustering to shoot some radiated beams at... they're going to target E84 with both beams because they could potentially splash everybody with them. Right?
Yes.
So, E84.
Oh dear.
12 versus Fortitude.
That hits exactly.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And lower than that. Okay, that could have been worse. You will take 14 radiation
I'm
damage
unconscious.
and are weakened. And
Once again,
Atifa and Bob, you take 5 each.
did we determine whether death saving throws last all day? The fails? Okay.
I think they don't, because I think...
Wait, sorry. How come I got hit?
Basically,
Splash.
you get splashed when someone...
There's no, like...
It just
save
happens.
on that? Okay.
Yeah, it's mean.
Mm-hmm. It's because my fortitude is so low, I get hit, and then you get splashed. Sorry.
Yep. All right. So...
I'm down to 5 health. This is fun. I'm having
This
a
is
great time.
great.
All right.
Everybody run.
So, well,
I yell out from behind the rock,
it
"How
is
y'all doing?"
It's the start of your turn. Good news. You get to take 3 radiation damage for starting your turn next to a horrible bird.
All right, down to 2 health. We're having so much fun now. This is the best. Truly.
I would encourage you to not hold back with an alpha power or an omega tech. If you've got
good.
something.
I'll just blind all of these creatures.
Well,
Well,
if they-
that's going to do a whole lot.
If they're blinded, they have a very hard time hitting you.
All right, let's go ahead and use... By the power of Ishtar, eternal light, I burst these creatures.
And is that enemies or is that all of us?
It says each enemy in burst.
There you go.
Okay.
Nice. Good question, Aline.
I don't want to be blinded.
No, I understand.
That's 20 versus will.
All right, so you're actually, with a burst attack, it's going to include, it's a big burst, right?
Yeah, burst 5.
So you're going to roll for each one. So you'll hit the Bloodbird. Why don't you roll for the Moth number 1 and then the Moth number 2?
Okay. 8 plus 1 is 9 plus... Okay, so that's 17.
Versus Will? Yeah,
Yes.
definitely hits. And the last
Okay.
one.
Oh, yay! And that's 24.
All right, so they
Versus Will.
are they. Does anything else happen, or are they just blinded?
The target is blinded, and then it says in parentheses, save ends.
All right, so basically, when they're blinded, they have a hard time hitting anybody else. They grant combat advantage, so they're easier for you to hit, and they are really bad at perception. In case you want to sneak around.
Yes.
Was that a standard action to do that, or something else?
That was.
Okay.
That was a standard action. So as a minor action, I'm going to scoot the frick away from this bird.
That would probably be a move, but I would definitely encourage you doing that. And you may not want to. You may want to not be as clustered as possible. Okay.
That's all I can do, except I go ahead and pull out my
Let me
toy
actually
dump
just
truck
check
and
something else.
cradle it.
How does, because no one has done a second wind in Gamma World yet, right?
Correct.
Is that, have we talked about that ever?
Nope.
I don't think
right.
so.
I remember some mention of it, but we didn't actually do it.
This is important, and maybe we should have talked about this before. And Micah, you probably want to do this right now because you can still do it. You can heal yourself once per encounter using your second wind. Doing so requires a minor action. You regain hit points equal to your bloodied value, so half of your total health. And you get a +2 bonus to all your defenses until the start of your next turn.
Why do we get that?
This is basically a one-time minimal healing that you can do for yourself.
Per encounter?
Per encounter.
Holy moly, that's
Nice.
really nice.
That's excellent. Does
All
it
right,
bring you
well,
back up to your
you can do
bloodied
a
value,
similar
or do
thing
you add
in,
your bloodied value?
It is, you regain hit points equal to your bloodied value.
All right. So I just gave myself. I moved myself back since
It's
it
a
has
move.
to count as my minor action. Yeah.
Oh no. Yep. So you can move as.
So-
no. But you still
Oh,
had
I-
a move action also, right?
Okay. So move doesn't count as a minor action.
Nope.
That's a
No,
whole
move
different
is its
thing.
own
Okay,
action.
Sweet.
You get a.
So I can move. I can second wind, and I can do the other thing. that I
Yep.
did.
You get a standard, a move,
Excellent.
and a minor.
Ooh, how great! All right, I'm feeling better. I've got 11 health now, and I'm out of the way.
E84. Would you have had a chance to heal yourself? Would that have been relevant and important to know before?
Yes, because as long as it's a minor, I
Yeah.
don't have any other minors.
Do you
so-
want to pretend that you had one?
Can we do that?
Yeah. Do the
All right.
math on where you are now. And it's probably still not great, but slightly improved.
Yeah, I'm at 5 now, so that's exciting.
That's exciting. Yeah. I mean, still probably 1 gamma ray from death, but it's better than
Totally.
being 0 gamma rays from death.
All right, I say that I have a new alpha power that could probably help us if we want to run away. Just FYI.
Oh, should we mark all these as blinded?
I will do that. There's
Thank you.
some kind of eye-based symbol. And Atifa, what would you like to do?
I feel like E84 is hinting at something, so I think I'm going to hit. Oh, shoot! No, that plan doesn't work.
If you want to wait until after,
Yeah.
go on and just see. I don't know if it'll make a difference or not. I have no idea how successful I will be.
Okay, so I'm going to do my fear manifested ranged attack at the Bloodbird. So that's a 22 versus will.
That Bloodbird is full of fear.
Okay, I've got to find my D8. So that is 8 psychic damage. And until the end of my next turn, the target gives combat advantage and has -2 on attacks.
All right, I will tell you, unfortunately, this Bloodbird seems to resist psychic damage.
Psychic damage, I wondered. All right.
Yeah.
All right,
But
then.
it does grant combat advantage. 'Cause
Okay.
that still happens.
Awesome. And then I'm gonna run away.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna move away anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll move to here.
All
So-
right. E84, I think you're next.
Yes,
There is a
All right.
bird right next to you.
there is. Does that mean I take, what is it, 3 damage?
Yes, you take 3 radiation damage.
Which puts me at 2, which is still conscious.
Yep,
All right. They're all blind, correct?
they are.
All right.
And in fact,
I'm gonna
I think when something's blind, it can't take opportunity attacks. Is that true?
Excellent.
Let me check. No, they can do that. They just do it at a huge penalty.
Okay. Well, I am going to use, let's see, my new alpha mutation, which is called Amnesia Field.
Oh, God.
And it is a standard action. So I can do an area that's a burst 2 within 10. So I can set it right where the dead Bloodbird fell so that it will get all 3. Mm-hmm. And if I hit, the targets will forget all the events of the last 5 minutes. Save ends. So the fact that they're blind and will have forgotten that we were even here, I suspect means that we will just be able to run away as
Okay.
fast as we
You
want.
could also.
I'm sorry. I forgot what your power was. Can you repeat that?
Wah, wah. All right. So, Tony, is there something I should think of before I do this?
No, I don't think so. I was going to say you could probably run away. You could also potentially run past them. I don't know what you want to do.
Well,
There's an entrance to the south if we all wanted to run over
There's-
there while they're blinded and confused.
There's a lot of tunnels here, so different things could happen.
yep. So, all right. So I will try that. So this is, let's see. That's not the greatest roll. That is 14 versus will.
On the Bloodbird?
on all. Well, oh yeah, starting with the bloodbird, so that's 14 on the
It turns
bloodbird.
out when you're a bird that lives in a cave, your will is not very high. So,
Hey.
so that'll get
Alright.
the bloodbird. I would encourage you to roll higher on the moths if you can.
All right, I will go for the top one first. That's 18 versus will,
Good job. And the last one,
and the lowest one is that's only a 14 versus will.
its will is 14. So,
Hey.
I'm going to say that given your excellent combination of powers, if you want this, you could take the opportunity to evade, avoid, or just run away from these creatures, which seem pretty vicious.
I think I suggest we do that, and then now that we understand these creatures better, if we need to come back, we can come back more prepared to face them.
I think you probably don't have a lot of time in character to talk about it, so what direction do you want to head?
Well, okay, so just on the map here, there's a passageway to the south, to the west. Actually, there's 2 to the south. Is that right? It's hard
Looks
to tell.
like 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, that's not a path. Never mind.
And then 1 to the east. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep. And there is the sloping pit with a spiral path leading down it.
Yeah, it certainly don't want that.
Me neither.
I feel
And
like
I feel-
that might be where the rabbit is.
And I think if we were going to try to run past them, we would all have to make saving throws to not fall down. So I am going to run away back to where Whiting and Atifa are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this a passageway over to the right here?
That's the passageway that you entered this area from.
Is it? Okay. And then
Oh, so we have
I-
the north and the south then.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird passageways you could go from here.
Okay. In that case, I will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to head down this way, which will get me out of sight of the birds for whenever they can see again.
Rest of the group, do you want to follow
Hope they
E84 into the Badger tunnels?
How
Well-
bloodied is this bird here?
It is not bloodied.
Okay, never mind. I was going to shoot it as we left, but I'm deciding to not.
And
What's its current health?
Keep in mind, it doesn't
full?
forget anything
No,
after
but
this.
more than
So
half.
if you hit it now, it's going to remember you.
All right, yeah, let's. I'll make sure it doesn't remember me by running away.
all right.
Yeah, and I'm assuming I don't know what's going on, so I think E84 would be running for good reason. So I think
Please
I'm going to follow.
All right.
Well, we could have mind Skyped.
I couldn't though. I can't. I can't talk to you
except
guys.
except for E84. Well, you can hear us though, right? You just can't say anything.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, sometimes the maybe not the bravest course of action, but the safest course of action is to run away from the bloodbirds and gamma moths. And so you do. Who knows what exciting treasure you might have missed out on, but you're alive, and that's something. So after running, I don't know, maybe some of you panicked, maybe some of you are just out for a jog through the tunnels for a while. You find a little alcove in which you can catch your breath. You regain hit points. Your alpha mutations fade away. Probably take a second to check your equipment because some of your omega technology is going to
Oh, right.
go away, and you didn't gain any new gear from that encounter. I am going to give you half of the experience for
Okay.
dealing
I
with
lost
those
my
creatures.
vibroblade.
Bye bye, Power Fist.
I did not use any Omega Tech that encounter, so all I lose is the standard pistol.
And yeah, because you fired it more than once. Actually, you have the pistol, you just have no more ammunition. So
Oh, okay, so I'll keep that. I just can't use
you
it
could.
until I
It is
find ammo
potential.
again.
You could find more ammunition in the future.
All right, great. Do-do-do-do.
Any other things that need to happen? So you're going to stumble through the tunnels for a while, but we know there are more treacherous things in these Badger Warrens. All kinds of strange mutations that creatures that have sneaking around in the dark, and somewhere deep beneath these tunnels, the source of the robots that continue to roll through your town. Will you die in the dark caverns all alone, or will
Probably.
you die with your friends?
Probably not.
We'll find out next time on Gamma World on Total Party Kill.